Hi, my name's Professor Silver, and in today's class, we'll be exploring the history of Goh's Scorbunny. We'll be tackling the history of Raboot and Cinderace in a later class, so subscribe and stay tuned. This video is brought to you by Keeps. Scorbunny debuted in the episode Settling the Scorbunny. Prior to meeting Goh, Scorbunny traveled to Wyndon and became the leader of a gang of Nickit. The Nickit were always hungry, so it regularly helped them steal food for sustenance. It cared so deeply for them, it would often sacrifice its own rations in order to feed them. In an effort to avoid capture and exposure, it also mimicked their coloring and covered itself in dirt. Scorbunny intended for Ash to be one of its many victims, but Pikachu blocked its advances. As soon as the battle ended, a local food vendor arrived and scolded Scorbunny's gang for their previous theft. Scorbunny's defense of the Nickit impressed Goh, so he came to its rescue in turn. Goh got Scorbunny free by saying that he was its trainer and that he would punish it accordingly. By doing so, Goh earned Scorbunny's affection and respect. Furthermore, Goh's encouragement that Scorbunny give up its life of crime led it to become smitten with him. When its attempts to reach Goh were hilariously dashed at the start of mind-boggling Dynamax, Scorbunny found itself forced to jump from a train, run through a tunnel, and avoid a rash of obstacles. Its dogged pursuit of Goh showed that little could stop it from achieving its goal. Unfortunately, Goh dashed the Pokemon's hopes soon after it helped him subdue a wild Snorlax. Although flattered by Scorbunny's request to be his starter, Goh rejected the offer as he instead wanted Mew. The rejection devastated Scorbunny, but the Pokemon didn't have long to grieve. Its grief was replaced by fear as the Snorlax that it had earlier subdued underwent Gigantamax. In spite of the fear it felt and the leftover pain of Goh's rebuke, Scorbunny again came to his aid. Using its incredible strength, it helped Goh move Snorlax before it was struck by a train. In the process, Scorbunny proved itself a loyal friend who would never turn its back on those in need. Because it nearly perished along the way, Goh rethought his decision and realized the error of his ways. After giving a sincere apology, Goh asked the rabbit Pokemon to join his team. Scorbunny was so thrilled that it literally captured itself when Goh's Pokeball took an unexpected curve. From then on out, Scorbunny would regularly appear alongside Goh during his many travels. Before we break down the rest of Scorbunny's adventures, however, I wanted to give a shout out to our sponsor, Keeps. Keeps is a subscription-based service that combats hair loss. The service offers clinically proven, research-backed treatment plans that reduce male pattern baldness. Not only are the plans personalized and doctor recommended, but they're also sent right to your doorstep. Best yet, each plan is about half the cost of what you'd find at the pharmacy. Beyond treatments, Keeps also offers an award-winning, all-natural, thickening shampoo and conditioner set. If you're looking to keep your hair healthy and strong, I can't recommend it enough. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your order, go to keeps.com/ProfessorAlex, or click the link in the description. That's keeps.com/ProfessorAlex. And now back to Scorbunny's history. Because of catching Scorbunny, Goh shifted his goal from only catching Mew to catching every Pokemon. Starting and working my way back to Mew, Scorbunny made it his focus to help Goh achieve his dream. They were both highly untrained, so many of their attempts at capture in the Viridian Forest ended in disaster. Admittedly, Scorbunny's poor attention, high energy, and impulsive behavior led many of their Pokemon targets to flee. Their groove was only found after the rabbit located a Caterpie, discovered a Paris, and caught a Butterfree. A wild Scyther gave them immense trouble, but that didn't stop Scorbunny from beating a Venonant. Although the battle left it ill, it returned to the forest soon afterwards thanks to the help of Nurse Joy. Due to her expert care, it had more than enough energy to win its rematch with Scyther. Scyther tried its best with Air Slash and Slash, but was no match for Quick Attack and Goh's Pokeball. Besides catching bug types, Scorbunny also helped Goh catch a plethora of other Pokemon. In serving up the Flute Cup, for example, its tracking of a Taillow led to the Pokemon's capture. That same episode, it also unveiled its loyalty to Goh by defending his honor to Ash and Hodge. When Ash tricked Goh into thinking his Wurmple had evolved, Scorbunny responded with a swift kick. In spite of Scorbunny's desire to please Goh, the Pokemon quickly fell during the Flute Cup. Hodge's Mightyena beat it with Snarl and Crunch. Since Goh loved Scorbunny with all his heart, he didn't dare blame it for the loss. Instead, Goh vowed they would get stronger and doubled down on their efforts to catch more Pokemon. In the Sinnoh Iceberg, Trainer and Pokemon bounced back from their loss at the Flute Cup by teaming up to catch a Mantike. They also proved their strength by protecting a cruise ship from Team Rocket's bear tech. In addition to helping Goh catch new Pokemon, Scorbunny also provided its allies with utility support. It sometimes shirked its duties to joke around, like when it wore a Dratini skin in a test in Paradise, but more often than not, when push came to shove, it always came to the aid of its friends. After Gengar froze Yamper and best friend Worst Nightmare, for example, it swiftly thought it free. Scorbunny also came to the aid of a wild Cubone in a snow day for searching. In defense of its new friend, it valiantly fought against a Mankey. As earlier referenced by its kicking of Ash, there was no one it guarded more fiercely than Goh. One of the best examples of Scorbunny's brave defense of Goh can be found in the climb to be the very best. During the episode, it didn't blink twice when Goh asked it to battle a Gigantamax Dreadnought. The giant withstood all its kicks and deflected its blows, but Scorbunny revealed itself a powerhouse in training the very next episode. In the raid battle in the ruins, it assisted Goh in catching Sandile and helped him traverse a bevy of traps. Its curious nature led it to set off many of them, but I can't help but feel its heart was in the right place. Once the traps were out of the way, it did its best against a wild Golurk that Goh eventually captured. Its lack of effectiveness against the ghost type revealed one of its greatest weaknesses. Despite its fire typing, all it knew was the normal type quick attack and fighting type double kick. Because Goh's Darmanitan criticized its lack of firepower, Scorbunny spent the episode practicing Ember. Rather than aid Scorbunny in its pursuit, Goh thought it already perfect and deemed its work useless. The trainer's passionless response left Scorbunny demoralized, dejected, and desperate for attention. No matter how much progress it made in learning Ember, Goh ignored it and focused instead on catching Pokemon. Scorbunny initially helped in Goh's efforts, but became increasingly frustrated as the episode wore on. Its facade of cheeriness eventually broke after Goh chewed it out for losing to Team Rocket's Chewtle. Because Goh said Ember wasn't good enough, Scorbunny kicked him, teared up, and ran off alone. Thanks to Ash's sage wisdom as a trainer, Goh almost immediately regretted his rudeness. Although Scorbunny rejected his apology, the two joined forces when the trio next attacked. After Goh realized that Scorbunny's feet produced intense heat, he had it rev up with Quick Attack. Once at full speed, it produced an Ember so powerful that it completely blocked Chewtle's water gun. Due to the battle's intensity and its synchronization with Goh, it evolved into Raboot soon afterward. Evolution gave it the power it needed to blast off the trio, but left it indifferent to Goh's affection. Instead of being happy-go-lucky like it was as a Scorbunny, Raboot was emotionless, dour, and filled with scorn. We'll cover Raboot's rebellious phase and eventual reunion with Goh in a future class. For now, let's get to Scorbunny's battle record. Scorbunny won against Goh's Venonant, Goh's Scyther, Goh's Sandile, Wild Mankey, and Team Rocket's Chewtle. It lost to Ash's Pikachu, Hodge's Mightyena, and Team Rocket's Chewtle. Move-wise, Scorbunny used Double Kick, Ember, and Quick Attack. Not only did I love Scorbunny's hilarious antics, but I also thought it was awesome how quickly it evolved. It did so faster than any other companion starter in the Pokemon anime. While I don't mind seeing Pokemon in their base form, it's very cool that Journeys broke the mold. Scorbunny's arc is made even more awesome when one considers it chose Goh rather than vice versa. Because of Scorbunny, Goh changed his goal, became more empathetic, and learned the value of friendship. Besides Pikachu, there's almost no other Pokemon who has had such a powerful impact on their trainer. Due to this fact, I can't wait to cover Raboot in the future. And with that, class is adjourned. I'd like to extend a special thanks to both Keeps and the channel's patrons for their support. If you'd like to watch class early and get access to exclusive perks, make sure to sign up for Patreon via the link in the description. For other ways to support the channel and earn extra credit, like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe, and hit the bell so you're never late to class. Until next time, catch you later.